All right. Welcome, guys. And my name is Ben Cooley.
And I'm Brian Funk.
And we are Flatland Showpigs. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in to a live stream of our preview for our sale coming up this Saturday. And we're here with Taylor Fort and crew. We wanted to make sure we brought this to you today. Obviously, it'll be live streaming today, but it'll be up all week. That gives you guys plenty of opportunity to look through the set. We have 100 head for sale this coming Saturday, which will be March 16th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll have internet bidding on salering.live. And Brian, I'm pretty excited about the set we're going to offer this year.
This set has really come on in the last week, and we appreciate you all putting up with our postponement, but we wanted them to be ready for this sale, and now they are.
Yep. Look really good today, guys. And we're going to go through kind of in pin order today. So there's 20 pins back there. We're going to run just a couple, 3 pigs at a time. That is not sale order. Want to make sure everybody understands that. We will put them in lot order later in the week, and we will post that. We want to make sure, though, today it's just going to run through. We'll have ear notches on the screen so you guys will be able to see what ear notches are attached to what pig, but it will not be in sale order. That will happen later in the week, and we'll make sure we post that. A few other things about the schedule for later in the week. We will have a live walkthrough this Friday evening at the farm at 5 p.m. If you guys are around, you guys want to come and for some entertainment and such, and we'll look through the pigs then. And then obviously on Saturday afternoon, you're welcome to get here mid-afternoon. We will have a live or a walk, maybe kind of a walkthrough preview in the afternoon, but then a meal about 4:30, catered meal, and then sale 6 o'clock sharp Mountain Time on salering.live and live here at the farm.
I believe there's it's almost a 50-50 between barrows and gilts on the sale. I think there's 51 barrows and 49 gilts, so we're right at half and half.
Yep.
So we can set you up with whatever you're wanting to look for. We sure hope you all come out and take a look, and if you can't make it, bid online, because we appreciate all of you.
We will have transportation available to the West Coast after the sale all the way to Oregon. We'll have transportation possibilities east as well with livestock transport, so don't be afraid to contact us relative to delivery options. Relative to males and females, I'm glad you brought that up, Brian. There are a few that are still intact as males, intact boars, and there are a few with retained testicles. We have put that in the comments. We'll make sure everybody knows that. We'll make sure we point that out today. Some are castrated, some aren't, but relative to the set out here, they're ready to go. So we're going to run these through in our order for our pins. We'll have that posted, obviously, to the Facebook feed in the comments section, I believe is what Taylor told me he's going to do. So make sure you guys, if you have any questions when this is all done, feel free to give us a call. Thanks, guys.
All week long, Ben and I will be available by the phone, so give us a shout. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, as Brian goes in the back there, and we're going to get stuff ready to roll. Actually, I'm going to be joined by my good friend, Weston Charles. And Weston's going to make a few comments along with us today. I'm going to put him to work. Here's your sheet, Brian. You better get that. And Weston, I want to thank you for joining us today. You got enough cord there? All right, perfect. Weston is, of course, a former student of mine way back in the day when I was a judging coach. And the neat thing about Weston has always appreciated his passion for livestock. And, of course, he runs Allied Genetics right now with his family and business partner. And we sure appreciate Weston coming out here today. We're going to utilize his children, their slave labor in the back. Okay, and Landon's going to be helping us in the ring today along with Cadence Funk. And we're going to get these pigs in. So whenever they're ready to roll, I think we're ready. We can go ahead and bring in the first couple lots. Guys, we're going to start off today with ear notches 8-1 and 8-2. As we go ahead and start off today, we'll get that closed. Thanks, Jessica. Going to do that as well. All right. Landon is on 8-1. So we're going to go ahead and start. If you're looking at Landon on the screen right there, that's 8-1. That is a boar pig, and this is a pair of trick daddies. The mom is a King of the Hill gone viral sow. She's most famous around this place for producing our reserve grand overall at the Weld County Fair last year. A pig we were very, very excited about. And we have a pair of intact males here that obviously, I don't have a sale order set yet, Weston, but I think this pair is going to be toward the top. The neat thing about this one's pedigree, both 8-1 and 8-2, is they are extremely line bred. We have Trick Daddy on the top side, which is a tricked out tricked out never before on the gone viral sow of Heimer's. And then the sow on the bottom side is a King of the Hill on that same gone viral sow. So pretty neat set of pigs right here. Going to talk about 8-1 in the screen there of Landon.
Guys, I think when this pair walks in, the first thing that you can't help but to notice is just extreme feature. I mean, these things are as big-legged as you're going to find anywhere. And then I guess, the first thing that I always do when I see ones come at me with this much is I want to step behind them. They have a huge pin set, but a safe hock width. That's pretty unique for ones that are just this stout and big pinned. Their hock doesn't scare me one bit. That -1, man, to have that much working blade back is really neat in his front third. Just love the combo of stuff, but still with a neat look and a hock that doesn't scare me one bit.
And then we'll get on to 8-2, which is cadences, and I think the difference there maybe between the pair is this one comes even with a little more stoutness and chest than his littermate brother 8-1. 8-2 here, I think he's maybe even bigger pinned, just as big-legged. That one is burly and massive. Guys, this pair has been awfully fun to watch since the day they were in the crate. Brian and I were really excited about this litter, not just because of the pedigree potential that they have, but when they came out and they had this much feature and bone and look, they have to be high on our list. We'll have actually a pair of littermate gilts we're going to show you later on today that we are going to offer. But 8-1 and 8-2, again, Trick Daddy, King of the Hill, gone viral is the pedigree.
Don't miss -2's just extra skull width too. I mean, boar looking there.
All right, guys. The next trio we're actually going to run in are 7-1, 7-2, and 4-2. So Cadence, I'm going to have you. She's going to start on 7-1. We'll get our camera situated right here. So Cadence is going to start on 7-1. The 7 litter is a non-negotiable. That's the boar at Shane Brenning's. I guess that's what I got for being able to judge a show with him this last summer, as he said I can use maybe one of his boars, but this one's pretty neat. Non-negotiable. That would be the Allow Me son that's at Shane's, and then the bottom side of the pedigree is Hero back on that Visionary sow. But 7-1 there, bold, stout, and a neat looking barrel prospect there, Weston.
Absolutely awesome cage, and it all starts because I think he's wide-chested and just everywhere you look, he has enough spread to let that cage lay in him like you want. So often we think that we can feed that or manufacture that, but with one like this, you don't have to just hope it comes. It's there already. Love that guy's rib flank, just extra boldness.
We're going to have Landon go ahead and get on 7-2 there. Okay. Landon's going to get on him. That's his littermate brother. Maybe even a neater look ahead of his blade than his brother, Weston.
Yeah, I like his maybe just sharp edge up high, too. That crisp loin edge with a neater throat yet, maybe, but still has all the cage and just body dimension you want. Short enough backed to be one that I think you'd be pretty excited about to get home.
The non-7 out here is 4-2, and we'll have Cadence go ahead and push that one on out. And that one's pedigree reads Turnin' Tricks Houdini Wags. And that was an interesting sow purchase, or actually baby pig purchase that Brian made there at Heimer's a couple falls ago. Really neat blue female, and we got her rolling finally. And I tell you what, that guy has ginormous legs, runs uphill, and extremely tall-shouldered with that much feature and bone and ankle. That's an awfully neat barrel right there in 4-2, Turnin' Tricks Houdini Wags.
Just instantly, to me, Turnin' Tricks Houdini makes sense, I think, from a pedigree standpoint. And then you look at this guy, and you can kind of see the best of both worlds in those boars, I think. You said it when you said height of blade there, lateness and maturity, an ankle that just looks like it's going to be massive when that guy weighs 270. Neat prospect there.
Yeah, I think that one could be a big heavyweight, Weston, relative. And anymore, that's a struggle, I think, nowadays with as bold and massive as we make some of them. Being a big heavyweight with enough ankle is tough. This guy can do it. And, guys, I think, we're not going to try to project, perfect show windows today. I think that gets a little silly at times. But I will say that this one looks like he can be a heavyweight, and you can just feed him the way he goes. So, again, in the ring, 7-1, 7-2, and 4-2. I probably need Luke Charles in the ring now because we're actually going to talk about a couple red gilts right off the bat, which he would appreciate. We're going to have 3-3 and 3-7. So Cadence, jump on 3-3. That's the one closest to me right here. And 3- the litter is Burst. Back on a double up, next up sow. That dam was actually third in class in the Market Hog show at the National Western Stock Show a couple years ago. And, against the boys, and we got to bring her home, which we really appreciated. We sold a pair of litter mates at the Elevate sale a couple weeks ago. We saved these two back for here. I think a pair of very, very neat gilts. Burst is the sire. Double up, next up would be the dam.
I think what instantly hits me when I look at this pair is just athleticism. And when I guess I'm not a pro when it comes to these purebreds, but I guess where I start, is feet and legs and just skeletal quality. And that's what this pair screams to me. I think the -3 is a touch more moderate if that's what you're after. But, man, hip and hind leg and just comfort on the move. These are the kind that I think just keep you out of the ditch. You don't have to worry about feet and leg problems. And I think in this breed specifically, when you get to be big and if you're athletic, you're in a good place.
Yeah, so that -3 is the lighter colored one, and then Landon will kind of push out that dark colored one. That's -7. Again, that one probably reads just a little bit longer in our skeletal makeup, Weston.
Yep, I think so. And again, we don't want to project too much, but Market Hog, sure, but that one could be really fun as a breeding gilt prospect too. I read her as if you want to show that one for a while and then keep feeding her and show her north of 300 pounds, I think you'd still be awful tough.
So, guys, a pair of Duroc gilts here that I think should be very high on your list. We put a fair amount of purebreds in this sale, and we whittled it down to what we thought was some really high-quality individuals. Again, Burst, double up, next up would be the pedigree on this pair of gilts. Guys coming into the ring now are a trio of litter mates, and this litter has been maybe the most exciting or one of the most exciting sets that we've started here at Flatland Showpigs. The pedigree would read heavy hitter, hero, kingpin, verbatim, Roxy. And you're going to hear that kingpin, verbatim, Roxy quite a bit in a lot of pedigrees we have around here, partly because that sow has been a foundation. This hero daughter herself, she wasn't actually shown. She was born in the summer, stayed here. We had a pair of litter mates, though. One of them was shown by the Fort girls there at San Antonio a couple years ago, won its class. This 3-6 hero mama is stout featured and heavy structured and clubby looking, out of kind of going back to a kingpin pedigree. And then we put heavy hitter on him. And those of you guys hunting for a light cross division animal, better looking here at this trio of barrows. Landon's going to be on 1-1. And we'll kind of the light speckled rumped on that one here. And I'll just kind of point them out to begin with and then let Weston make his comments maybe in general. And then 1-2, we'll throw cadence on that one real quick. He is misnotched. He's 108-2, the way his notch reads, because Brian got a little happy with the notchers when we were notching there. But 108-2, that is a 1 letter actually. And then 1-4, we'll roll that one out with Landon right there. You can look at him as we move him around. That is the trio of litter mates. And Weston, I want to hear your comments.
Yeah, this is an impressive trio, and not only because they're blue and those things are hard to come by and as popular as they've been in, I don't know, maybe ever. But these three come in and they just instantly check a lot of boxes in terms of being short-backed, hard-backed, with big legs and just not messed up to a point that, man, pick the one you like here. I guess, you know, I really instantly struggled to get my eyes off of the -4 here, just his extra unique proportions and sharp look up front. But saying that, he might be the greenest of the trio, and he's not that green. I mean, the other two are just manly barrows that, man, you know you're going to be big enough ankled. You're going to have a big old hard back shape with proportions that make you stand out, especially against other blue ones.
Yeah, Weston, I think Brian and we've gone back and forth on this trio for a long time of determining which one we like best. And I promise you we will probably still be wrong in the end. As long as one of them gets across, I think we'll call it a successful day. But I wouldn't be scared of starting with any one of these three. Pick your poison. Again, we'll have... I don't know which one's in the screen right now, kind of all of them there. But if you see Landon, he's got 1-4 there again. Roll that one across. That kind of has the blue blanket across his back. The lighter colored blue one that Cadence will whip that one out there. That's 1-1, speckle rumped one. And then the one with a darker mask on him that Cadence has now, that is the 1-2. Again, he's misnotched 108. But a pair of, or a trio of littermates, heavy hitter, hero, kingpin, best stuff on the farm right here. Some of our best sow line. And then the heavy hitter deal has been fantastic. Weston, I'm pretty excited about, that trio right there. And I know we've got a lot of pigs to come, but so far, what do you think? We got a good enough set for you?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Cooley didn't give me a lot of warning that he was going to throw me on a mic today. And so I said, I got to run back there. And I just made a quick loop. And just in general, the overall just ankle density, stoutness, burliness hit me instantly making a quick loop. But you said it real quick on those last three. Heavy hitter is a boar that has been absolutely awesome. For today's day and age, the consistency and problem-free pigs that he's making while still being wild, huge-legged, and just what he's done, he's one that, man, I wish I had way more litters out of this season.
Yeah, we'd agree with you. The next three in the ring, speaking of wild, I think get us pretty excited. We're going to start with that dark-colored Calico in the middle there. Go ahead, Landon, and then he has a brother in here, but this is a 36 litter. They would be wide awake, kingpin visionary. Mom was a kingpin gilt that the Fort girls showed a couple years ago that was second in class at San Antonio. Obviously, we brought her back here. She's at her grandmother would be the famous visionary sow from Heimer, the $27,000 one we purchased. And this pair of wide awakes here, we start with the dark colored one. Guys, I'm not sure, where show window, how you want to show them and feed them. That one's look, feature, bone, foot size, hair, and density screams to me that you can just feed on that one, and you're never going to have to worry about much other than getting to the winner's circle, because that one, we want to make sure we take a good backdrop picture every time that one hits it.
Yeah, that thing's wild. I mean, obviously the color pattern is so unique, and you call him a calico. He's cooler than your average calico for sure. But I don't want to be the guy that only talks about hair, but you got to just admire the fuzz and the extra hair on that guy's legs. I mean, when you get him all fit up and walk him in the show ring between his color pattern and hair, hold on. I mean, you are going to get noticed, and you're going to go to a pin, and then you're going to come out and be that athletic. And like you say, but for one that you can feed on, still to be that big in his blade. I mean, his blade shape and arm are really, really cool. Way exciting prospect there.
Yep. And nothing to take away from his littermate brother, the 36-7, the one that Landon's going to jump on right now. He's maybe just a little bit greener, but in his muscle shape up high right now, that one might even be bolder chested and bigger pin set than his brother. But 36-7 is certainly no slouch relative to quality and kind. Again, those pair of 36s are wide awake kingpin visionary. The one that's not a 36 out here, that's a 38. He is solid white. He's an in-game, back on a purebred Yorkshire sow, whiskers uproar, and that sow came from Olson's. I bought her as a baby from Chuck and Ben, and we have actually just bred her crossbred every time. She had a fantastic litter of all-white crossbreds last summer that sold extremely well in Texas and found the backdrop at multiple county fairs, and then we said, let's just do it again. And honestly, I bred her to in-game to try to make some females, which actually I'm going to offer up a couple of those later in the deal here, and we're going to show those to you. But a solid white male here that'll classify Yorkshire, and I think holds his own relative to these total crossed up ones.
Love that guy's feedable look. Again, body shape that is just fun to have in the barn, because you don't have to stress about getting that one just full and fluffy and ready, because he's already going to do that. And again, for one with that much just extra belly shape today, still pretty clean in his throat and gives you a good look ahead of his blade. You know, maybe a more conservative pedigree, but comes with the package where you still got plenty of pin width and a lot of body. I mean, good prospect there.
So again, a pair of Calicos, 36-6, 36-7, the wide awake kingpins, and then 38-3, which would be the in-game whiskers on that one's pedigree. The next pair that we're going to jump into the ring here are 36-9 and 40-11. So 36-9, we just talked about a pair of males, the Calicos. We have a chromed up belted version that's closest to me over here. Landon will jump on that one. That's 36-9. Again, wide awake kingpin visionary. I don't know if I need to be offering many of these gilts with that type of pedigree, but I thought that one's feature, look, and feedability made that one a very neat prospect for someone who wants to get it, jump in there, Weston.
Yeah, she's got a big old tail root that sits way up high there. Just kind of instantly hits you as one that, again, could be taken to a big weight there and just look the part when she's ready. And obviously a genetic backing there that makes her worth her weight in gold. Absolutely. Just a super complete gilt that I wouldn't be scared of one bit.
Yep. The one Cadence is on, the other one out there is 40-11, and we haven't talked about the 48 litter yet. This is the first one we've seen. We're going to see several. They are Trick Daddy, Never Before, Wedding Night. I can't tell you what the Wedding Night sow on the bottom, or excuse me, the Never Before Wedding Night sow on the bottom side here has done for us. If you remember a couple years ago, Weston, we had a really good litter of 24s that were heroes out of that sow that found the backdrop all summer long and were extremely good, including a very good barrow there at the Colorado State Fair. This Never Before sow has been just an absolute key to our program for years. We bred her to Trick Daddy, and I think a very neat belted prospect here.
You know, I don't struggle to remember that litter you referenced. Of course, they were way tough and just kept getting better all the way through the feeding period, if you ask me. This gilt has a really unique combination of giving you a good look, but absolutely aggressive inner muscle shape. Really, really neat just when you step above this one to look down at that grooved up back and expressive ham. Kind of unique in the way she combines those traits, in my opinion.
So a neat pair out there. Again, the 36-9 wide awake kingpin be the partial belted gilt, and then the traditional belted gilt 40-11 Trick Daddy Never Before. So we'll go ahead and move them on out. And we're going to actually bring in a trio of litter mates next. They are 41s, guys. The 41 litter is a pretty exciting litter, that one of our favorites from the very beginning. As they scream their way in here. The 41s, pedigree reads Turning Tricks, Hero, Dirty Deal. And I guess I'll just go ahead and start with the Dirty Deal grandmother on the bottom side. She's the $46,000 purchase from Heimer Hampshire's a couple summers ago in the Built the Brand sale. And the sole reason we bought her was to build females around her. And I feel like we finally got a bunch of her daughters in production here for us at Flatland, including this Hero daughter would be the mom of this litter. And then we put Turning Tricks on them. And I tell you what, you could pick your poison of type and kind. We'll go ahead and talk about the -7 would be the chromed up one that is closest to the camera right now. As we move that one away, that's -7. Very, very neat prospect there. The -8 Landon is the one right in front of you there. We'll push that one out. She's got just a little bit of white on her belly there, little bigger version. And then the -9 would be the one Cadence is going to push out here. She's probably the more moderate one of the trio here, but a trio of littermates, Turning Tricks, Hero, Dirty Deal, Weston.
Holy smolies. This is fun, and I'd be lying too if I said when I come up here I'm not instantly hunting for something that ties down to that Dirty Deal sow. You don't have to study very hard to find success that that sow line has produced. This trio's wild. I think you said it right. There's probably different types and kinds here. I think in terms of moderation, you can kind of sort them. This one that's probably on camera here now, which would be -7, is probably the middle for me. Maybe the most unique and doing the best of both worlds in terms of look, balance, athleticism, but still being crazy stout. But it's hard for me to not just think about what this -9 could be as a generator. Holy cow, that is a huge arm, foot, with the right kind of shape, level out through her pin set. And then let's not ignore the tall one, because we all know, like we talked about, sometimes those kind of later maturing ones that have just a little more unique extension blade forward, the mating flexibility that thing could provide as a sow. And of course, I'm a little breeder mindset here. I got to put on my show pig hat. I mean, I think they all make awesome prospects that way, but don't ignore the breeding value in this pin, please.
Yeah, I don't know why. We're going to offer quite a few of this out of this litter, but the quality is deep, and you're right. I think a trio that offers some differences depending on what you need, but we wanted to show these off. We're pretty excited about this trio of 41s. Again, the pedigree would read Turning Tricks, Hero, Dirty Deal. We'll try to work these next three in. Going to be a little challenging for us. They're going to be difficult, but all right. Speaking of 41s, well, there's a 40 litter, and then there's two more 41 gilts out here. So we'll just go ahead and stay in that theme of the 41s since we decided to do that. Again, Turning Tricks, Hero, Dirty Deal, 41-5. I believe that's the one that closest over here. There you go. Yep, that one that she's got just a little bit of a crinkle ear. So the crinkle eared gilt, 41-5. Again, Turning Tricks, Hero, Dirty Deal. Another one there that offers a lot of uniqueness. The other one, the other 41, would be the 41-6. That's the partial belted one, Cadence, that's right in front of you right there, 41-6. We'll get your comments on those two, Weston, before we talk about the 40.
Yeah, when I did my quick loop through the back here, I found this one instantly. She was posed up there next to her water in her pin, and that'd be the -6 here that's kind of got the half belt, depending on which side you're looking at. That one's elite, in my opinion. Just super, super neat up front, athletic as the day is long, with the right kind of shape and pedigree to back it. Skinnier sister here with the slight crinkle. I don't think that'll affect you at all. She's probably the most unique in terms of throat and just that kind of head and neck that is almost maybe the most exotic, I guess, of those that we've seen out of that litter. Maybe the greenest, but doesn't scare me there at all from just a stoutness standpoint when she has that much ankle and the proportions are that good.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then the other one, the 40-10, that's the one that Cadence is going to push out in the middle right here. Again, Trick Daddy, never before wedding night. Goes back to that great never before sow. Boldness in cage and roundness of body has never been short in that sow line and that pedigree. And I think you can see it in this particular female.
Yeah, that's where I was headed. Just shape to her upper rib cage and carries that down to a flank that really balances from the side, from her chest to her rear flank. Really just paints a pretty picture from the side. Big pinned, still safe where her hock hits the ground. That's a good one that fell in a tough pin that still is holding her own.
So again, a trio out there in the ring, a pair of 41s. 41.5 would have the slight crinkle to her ear. 41.6 is the partial belted one. And then 40-10 is the chromed up gilt. Very neat trio there. The next pair that are going to come into the ring are 39s. See, Luke's out there working hard. He's working on them. The 39 litter is one that I'll be honest, has been as exciting as any that we've started this fall, or excuse me, this spring. And they are Trick Daddy Hero Dirty Deal. So a littermate's sister is the mom to the mom of the 41s we just got done talking about, these 39s. 39-2 would be the one that is more the traditional belted male right there. And then 39-6 would be more the chromed up one. Again, pedigree reads Trick Daddy, Hero, Dirty Deal. And I don't know about you, Weston, we've been really loving our Trick Daddies, and we're excited about this pair.
Yeah, this perfect belt that is on camera here, I'm guessing the -2, I guess. Maybe I'm off here. I shouldn't guess where the camera is, I guess. But the traditional belt, guys, is way current. I mean, just massive legs with a really neat muscle texture. Just the way that shape lays down his top, and then you step behind him, and he's got all the expression you want, but doesn't get bunchy or round at all. Really unique there. Huge old forearm with fuzzy legs. This -6, though, height of blade and extension up front, head shape on that guy, I like that thing a lot. And that one looks like he is going to just be one that every day you give him feed, he gets better, but still has the just stoutness and the things that you can't change to get it done in the end.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate read there, Weston. I mean, the -2 certainly may be a little more ready and bulky and those big fat hind legs, but the -6 there, a little greener in his look right now, but one that, height of shoulder is very, very good. So a pair of 39s out there, guys, and we're going to have a few more of those to talk about. Trick Daddy, Hero, Dirty Deal is the pedigree. All right, Red One Escape will grab that one pig there, and let's make sure we get that other pig in first before we start cranking through them here. And as a reminder, guys, as you're watching this preview, we sure appreciate you tuning in. Again, the sale is going to be this Saturday, March 16th, here live at the farm. There we go. Live at the farm, 6 o'clock, salering.live. All right, the first one we're going to talk about, 40-4. That's the one Cadence has over there, the kind of traditional belted one. That's one of 40 male. We've talked about a couple 40-liter gilts, Weston, but this is Trick Daddy, Never Before Wedding Night would be the pedigree.
Bold here, I think, just in terms of blade, cage, pin set. that guy offers a lot of spread. Don't get in a hurry on that one, and I think you'll be rewarded for your patience there. Sweet, just wide eye set, stout mug deal there for sure with the perfect belt again that you can't go wrong with.
Now, the more chromed up one that comes right out there now that Cadence has, that is 41-3. That's a Turn and Tricks Hero Dirty deal. We talked about, some of those 41 gilts that you got all excited about. This would be the brother here, a little more chrome on this guy, and I think certainly one that you can step on the gas and feed, Weston.
Yeah, I agree. One that looks like you won't get in trouble with from a feet and leg standpoint. Really has a good angle to his hock, but still, one that you get on top of, and there's plenty of pig there, but just the way his skeleton handles it effortlessly makes me agree with you that you could feed him to whatever target you need to hit. Good chested for a big one.
Yeah, neat barrel right there. The one we haven't talked about is the little guy that wanted to escape to begin with, and we get into a litter that, quite frankly, I've been the most excited about since we actually bred that sow and we were confirmed bred. That's a 45 litter, 45-1, and he wants to be a little stupid for us out here today, which we apologize, but that is a wide awake, tricked out Goosebumps verbatim Roxy. The mom of this litter would be the San Antonio champion Gilt that was shown by the Fort girls there last year in 2023. We bought her back out of the sale with RD Genetics there with Rory for $30,000. We brought her home. We bred her to Wide Awake. And, of course, typical fashion, Weston, she had a great litter of 12, and we had 2 males. And they both had a testicle in their flank. So here's the one barrow that made it to sale day, but I think a pretty unique specimen in him.
Any of you that breed hogs, I think, can understand that frustration. It happens more often than not when you're wanting some males. But, man, it only takes one, as they say, I guess. Short backed for that, especially being a wide awake, I guess. This guy, sure, he's a little smaller, but he, if you really study him down at the ground, that's a big old foot and paw, right, with a lot of extra hair. That front foot is big. One that proportions really neat, as you'd expect. If he would just cooperate here and put his head up, I think everything ties together neat on that guy for sure.
No, he's not going to do that. He's just going to sit there and, like a dog, I guess, for a minute. But the downward hog, yeah, not downward dog, downward hog. Thanks, Taylor. But, guys, I don't think that one's going to be ready just right away. Those of you guys hunting one that wants to feed all the way through the fall and will just continually get better, I will take that one's skeleton all day long with that much bone, foot size, and look. And the quality in that one reads very, very high. We are going to show you a pair of littermate gilts we're going to offer up in the sale reluctantly here in a moment, but 45-1 better be high on your list. Speaking of those gilts, that is actually what we're going to run in next. 45-6 and 45-10. 45-6, that would be the chromed up gilt there that Cadence is going to push out there. Again, pedigree reads Wide Awake, tricked out, Goosebumps verbatim Roxy. The mother would be the San Antonio champion Gilt. And I thought we were going to offer up a pair of them. They're going to be for sale. I don't think we're going to be on sale, but the quality and the kind that this pair reads is very, very neat. 45-6, and then the Calico version would be the 45-10. Both a little bit different in their kind, but I want to hear Weston's thoughts on this pair.
I guess I was with you, Cooley, when we first saw Wide Awake on our board tour here this summer, and I don't know if you ever had much doubt that you were breeding this gilt this way, and I'm glad you did, and I'm more glad that you're giving us a chance to maybe snipe something from you here. These two are different, guys, but both scream quality. The black and white gilt is your just extended elevate one that looks like you just can't mess that one up ever, right? Height the blade, look ahead of her blade. Very, very neat. But that Calico, wow. For that pedigree especially, to have that much just early stuff, I mean, I wish you could see where I'm sitting right now. She comes right at you with tree trunks for legs, and her chest is so square, just flat at the base of her sternum, and then explodes into a body cavity that's rounder than a barrel. That is a stout, dense creature. And I guess for me, that is way, way intriguing, knowing what Mama looked like and knowing how those wide awakes just continue to become neater looking, and their hip and hind legs seems like it's going to be way good, way interesting. They're different, but high quality.
Yeah, guys, I had many conversations with Brian over the spring here that we swore we'd never offer one of these gilts, and then I caved and I said, well, I think we need to offer a couple of them. I talked to RD about it, and Roy's like, you bet, go ahead and offer a couple of them. And we wanted to offer, I think, a unique pair that are a little bit different, but 45.6, the chromed up one, 45.10, the Calico one. You talk about high quality animals. Get in if you want to take an opportunity. And I will tell you right now, these are the only two that are going to be offered. Period. Done. So that take advantage now, or that's it. That's all I would cave, is just two of them. Speaking of a pair of neat gilts here, a pair of skinnier ones that I am really excited about that I wanted to showcase them, and they're starting to come into their own. The first one we'll talk about is 37-6, and that is the one that Landon's going to have right here, 37.6, and she's a little skinnier version of her brother that we would have sold at Elevate. Pedigree reads, Pass the Hat, Make It Happen, Unlocked. Pass the Hat, or the mom of this one, was the $19,000 Sloan Gilt. I want to make sure we get this right here. Hold on. Cadence has it now. Yeah, sorry. This one over here, the Cadence has. That's the 37. Want to make sure we have that right. If you can push that one out, Cadence. Again, 37-6. They're both -6, which makes it confusing. Guys, Pass the Hat, Make It Happen, Unlocked. The Make It Happen is the $19,000 bred we bought from Sloan. We sold a $5,000 all-black male at Elevate. We saved this gilt back for here. And I understand that one's a little green and skinny today, but her uniqueness is still on display, Weston.
Yeah, and of course we do that Elevate sale with you. I got a front row seat at her mate boar, I guess, when you sold him there, and I guess that gives me a lot of confidence just what this one's going to do as she matures. That guy was burly, busted open, and dense. If you combine the possibilities of that mindset with just her immaturity and greenness, I think that's exciting for sure.
Yeah. The other one out there is 46-6. Trick Daddy Hero Kingpin would be the pedigree on 46.6. And mom actually was raised here by us, a hero daughter. She would have been shown by the Hikus family and been 3rd overall market gilt at Exarban a couple of years ago. And we have several gilts out of that litter. This is probably the little greener, skinnier one. But I think, again, uniqueness that one has with a Trick Daddy pedigree on top and then that Hero Kingpin on the bottom side.
Yeah, this one's just levelness in her lines, the way that her tail sets way up high. I mean, she starts tall-bladed and just it's perfect from the side there on back. As soon as you get a little belly in that thing and let her just go home and eat, you're going to like that one more and more every day on feed.
Yeah, pair of neat gilts out there, 37.6. 46.6. Again, very neat pair that I think a little green right now. Just need to give them time. Good pedigrees, though. The next two coming in, we're going to have a 7-letter gilt, 7-5. That's going to be the first one there. Cadence, you're going to jump on kind of that partial belted or kind of white stocking-legged one. Again, non-negotiable would be the pedigree on that 7-letter. Non-negotiable Hero Visionary. Goes back to that really good Visionary sow. And that one is extra bold, Weston, I think.
Yeah, we kind of flip the script from that last pair we have in here and bring you absolute power hog here that just is busted open. You never have to guess if you'll have enough here. You keep her somewhat slow on feed, I would say, but when you're ready for that shape and dimension, you'll get it. And I don't know. I've heard only good things about what non-negotiable is doing, especially from those guys out in Iowa and around there. That's kind of interesting for me. to hear just that he's that tall and neat looking. But if you can start with one that's this bulky, that makes sense to me.
Well, typical Brenning style, he said, breed that boar to your stout wide ones. And I said, well, I don't know if I have as many stout and wide ones as you do, Brenning, but I did pick this Hero Visionary mom is a stout, boxy one, and I think you could see that in this daughter. The other one out in the ring, the traditional belted one, would be another one of the 40 litters. This is 40-7. Trick Daddy, never before wedding night again on that pedigree of these 40s.
Length ahead of this one's blade is very neat. I mean, she's got extension for days there, blade forward. But then you step behind her and you're like, whoa, that's a really massive pin set. But the way her hock stays inside her stifle, pretty neat there just to combine those two things, in my opinion.
So again, the pair out here, 7-5, that would be the white socked gilt over there, non-negotiable Hero. And then the traditional belted one would be the 40 litter, 40-7, Trick Daddy, never before. Well, we had promised you some light crosses this year because of that division at Colorado State Fair, and I think more and more are going to those divisions of having a light cross. And we talked about some ones earlier. Here's another trio of males, guys, that has had us excited for a long, long time. They are the 14 litter, 14-1, 14-5, and 14-6. They're all males. They are all maxed out. And maxed out, we haven't talked about that boar yet. But that would be the one that we raised actually here that's at Crossroads Genetics, tricked out on the Visionary sow. And then the mom is a Hero Goosebumps. And those of you guys in Colorado, Weston, you would remember the mom. She would have been a dark blue gilt that we showed a couple of years ago at Colorado State Fair in the Market Hog Show. Won her class, and luckily we got her back. She didn't have to get her head chopped off. And this is her second litter now, and we couldn't be more excited about the trio that's out in the ring. Landon is on 14-1, and then 14-5 would be the one that Cadence has right in front of her, and then the really dark blue one, almost dark blue belted, would be 14-6. I do want to mention all three of them, guys. They're retained testicle. They're still boar pigs, still intact, but they all have a retained testicle that will need to be fixed. A couple of them are in there, or one of them's in their flank, but shouldn't be too hard to fix to get those ready. I'm Weston. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I just love these guys' cage. I mean, the extra spread and boldness that all three of them bring you is really neat. And it makes sense thinking of what maxed out just stamps in those pigs. But, man, shortness of body, just bulky, dense current barrows. Man, that -5 has a absolutely fun color pattern with the blue black or the blue leg on one side, really eye-catching. But man, I don't think you can go wrong here. More similar than different. Just absolutely wide-chested, big-ribbed ones with the right kind of pin set. I'd say pick your favorite color pattern here and be ready to have fun in that light cross division all summer.
Yeah, again, I think Brian and I have debated all spring long about which one we like better, and again, I don't know if we came up with a consensus answer, but yeah, -5 is the one that Landon has out in the middle of the ring right now. We've always loved that one's color pattern and his combination. The -6 that Cadence has over there, the dark blue one, I would tell you on the sow, that one was just an absolute standout, and that one has a big back in him. And then the -1, probably has the little more length and extension to him, which I don't know if necessarily is a bad thing, maybe from a, where he fits from a end weight standpoint. But again, the 14 litter here, maxed out, Hero Goosebumps is the pedigree, and work really well. I don't care if you have a light cross division or they just get to show against the belted ones. I think they could be competitive. And as we kind of continue the theme of blue, that's the pen that we're in right now. The dark blue one is a litter mate to those three we just talked about. That is 14-9, and that is an awfully neat gilt there, Weston, in my opinion, relative to her uniqueness.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess she just kind of does what those barrows do well. except for maybe with even a sharper, neater look that you want in your gilts. Really sharp edged there. I mean, ahead of her blade, really neat throated, crisp back shape. Man, I would love to just study that one for a long time. Really neat blade forward there.
The other one out there in the ring is one that I was really hesitant about even offering up, but Brian said we can't keep them all. That is 15-9. Pedigree would read in game on the Kingpin Verbatim Roxy sow. And I said, all right, we're going to offer one of these gilts, this blue gilt here. Obviously, the pedigree speaks for itself. I bred that Kingpin Verbatim Roxy sow with the intention of keeping females out of that litter. We are going to offer this belted or this blue gilt up here, right here. Just curious about your thoughts, Weston.
Did you say in-game Kingpin Verbatim Roxy?
That'd be correct.
Oh, shucks. We stacked like all the best female stuff together right now, and somehow we come out with something that is this hairy and current. Of course, she's athletic. Makes sense. Neat looking. She's not just EST bulky today. I don't care, because that's high quality. That is the kind that I probably need to just take home and breed on. Love that one's build and just absolute high quality skeletal makeup.
Yeah, I will, guys. If there's your hunting pedigrees out there, out of that Kingpin Verbatim Roxy sow, I'm not saying they're always going to be the most current, but I think we still are current, even with that pedigree right there. I will tell you the generating potential of the daughters. I think you saw it with the one litter today. You saw us, we sold a very good buckle up litter out of a, quite frankly, daughter out of, went back to that Kingpin Verbatim Roxy out at the Connection and Chosen ones earlier this year. So any of those in the Midwest that saw those barrows out there would understand the generating potential that pedigree has. Very neat pair right there. We're going to run out another trio of blue males. I'm going to scream out as a blue males here. And I guess the pair that I'm going to start with are the pair of 15s. And Cadence, you're going to go ahead, and the one closest to the camera there, we'll get that one out. There you go, Landon. That is 15-1. Again, in-game Kingpin Verbatim Roxy. I love that one's bone, foot, stoutness, and that one looks like we can just go ahead and press on that boar pig when you get him home, cut him, he'll chub up. And Weston, I think that one has the potential to get fed and get fed hard if you guys are hunting one there into July 1st of August.
I think that one excites me from just how mean you could be with him with the feed bucket. To have a big old shaggy paw, but a skeleton that I think you could throw whatever you want anytime at him and still be just totally safe and comfortable skeletally. That's a typical one. I think that you start with the things that you can't feed, right? Huge ankled, the correct skeleton, and do what you need to shape him up and get him just show ready when it's time. Really, really interesting one there.
Yeah, his littermate's the more moderate one that's right on Cadence's foot there that she's going to move out right now. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, no, Landon has it. Yep, 15-3. Almost got confused there. That's the more moderate one of the pair, the bulkier one of the pair, and I think that one has a tremendously high ceiling, Weston.
Oh, yeah. Another just good blue one here. I said that they were hard to find, but maybe you made it easy here. So hats off on that. But, shorter bodied and really proportional. One that I think just has a lot of potential there. I mean, I think you just take him home, feed him, have him ready when you want him ready, and know that just skeletally you'll be all right.
The other one that Cadence has out in the middle of the ring, that is 17-3, and that is a maxed out King of the Hill Verbatim Roxy. So again, a very similar pedigree actually to the 15s. You would just have the Verbatim Roxy that actually was out of a clone that came from Heimer. We bought that sow, the King of the Hill sow, out of that particular female. and then bred her to maxed out. That one's probably the bolder caged version of the ones out here, and you can see that in him, I think, Weston.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. No surprise being a maxed out. You just get that awesome cage. You know, starts with the big wide chest and just allows him to be really round and bold all the way through with a flank that's going to help him balance from the side there.
So a neat trio of blue males out in the ring. Again, 15-1, 15-3. Those are both the in-game Kingpin Verbatim Roxy. And then 17-3 was the maxed out King of the Hill Verbatim Roxy. Next coming into the ring are a trio of males. These are all boar pigs intact. The 9-7, we're going to go ahead and start with that one. Right there in the middle. Yep, right there, that guy. That is the first of the 9s we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about several of those. Those are Buckle Ups, Hero, Never Before. We talked about that 24 litter from a couple summers ago, Weston, out of the Never Before sow. This would actually be one of those daughters, a Hero, Never Before, that is the dam of this litter. And then this one in particular is a Buckle Up, which I think he's been having a pretty good run this winter.
Just a little bit, and I guess I'm not surprised. Just when you step over this one, that loin edge and that hard back shape is there to stay. It looks to me like exotic proportions, wild piece here. Don't miss this guy.
Yep, that's the 9-7, and then we have a pair of littermates out there, 10-2. All right, we'll get him. He actually has a retained testicle, and then 10-5 would be the other one. So Landon has 10-2 right there. Maxed out, breaking rules, Cookie would be the extended pedigree. But again, a maxed out male pig right there that I think we talked about boldness and cage and all those things that boar brings to the table. You can see it.
Yeah, I think this pair just comes with a lot of stuff. I mean, there is no angle of these things where you gotta wonder if we're gonna just be bulky enough and wide enough. And sometimes I guess that's a nice feeling to know. Like I said earlier, when you need it, it's gonna be there. Width, boldness, just extra bulk comes in spades with this pair.
Yeah, so again, the more traditional kind of thin belted one that Landon has there, that's 10-2. Cadence has 10-5. Again, 10-2 does have a retained testicle, but I think some really big back, stout, wide ones, guys, probably can take your time on those 10s relative to when they need to show. I will tell you right now, the breaking rules dam of that one, we call her Freak around here because she's probably as big backed as you can make one. But neat trio right there. Next guys that are going to come into the ring. All right, they're working at it. Okay. The next pair that we're going to come out here are a pair of littermates. They're 13-6, 13-10. Pedigree would read Wide Awake, Next Intention, Kingpin. Weston, you would have remembered this one's mom. She would have shown a couple summers ago. I believe Avery showed her. She was a big heavyweight. Would have won her class at Weld County Fair there. Next Intention, Kingpin. Maybe not your traditional Next Intention the way she looked. We bred her to Wide Awake, and I will tell you, we're going to show you quite a few out of this litter today that we are extremely excited about. AR Cadence there would have the 13-6. And then she has the little more traditional belted markings. And then 13-10 would be the chromed up one with white on her back leg.
Yeah, that one was wild, Mama here. For being a neck, she just her extra height of blade and athleticism and come in a little bigger frame size and definitely more length of hip than a lot of those did. I love that one. Huge legged, but it doesn't surprise me, I guess, that her gilts look like this because just their extra flex and reach off their hind leg here excites me. I guess that -10 gilt gets me real fired up in terms of one that is big chested, but then awful athletic from the side and when you step behind her.
Yeah, I hope they can show off here there as we get maybe a couple more good passes there with dash 10, dash 6. There's the traditional belted one Landon has. But a pair, or the 13 litter is one we've been very excited about. Guys, I think the show window is long with these guys. I mean, they can jackpot early, but they can show all the way into the fall. If you guys are hunting gilts out there that you want to be ready as a good big one with lots of extras all the way through September and October and even in November, you better look in here, and a very neat pedigree to boot. Hope we're not getting that all on camera. Okay. We're getting these pigs in here. Actually, I brought a pair out here, and we wanted to have a little diversity there. Weston, obviously the crossbred, we'll talk about it first. That is 16-5. That is a maxed out Kingpin half crazy. So the neat thing, we just talked about the 13s, and their grandma was the Kingpin half crazy. This Kingpin half crazy obviously would be the mom then of this 16 litter with maxed out as the sire.
I guess people don't like the word complete. I still do. I think it makes sense when describing this belted gilt. I mean, just not a lot there that you really want to change, right? I mean, problem-free, but still comes at you with a big old blade, lots of shape, the right kind of cage, and a good pin set or tails up high there. I guess I tie into them oftentimes when I struggle to find a problem. I think that one's kind of fits that bill for me.
Yeah, I think very neat litter there of 16s. We're going to see several of them today. The Duroc out there, that is 11-3. That would be a Wintex 312. Mom would be next up, Consensus. Goes back to a really good grandmother that came from Rick Whitman that we've built around now for several years. We talked about that Duroc litter earlier, the 3s. The mom here would be the grandma of those. So some similar genetics, but obviously using the very popular Wintex 312 on the top side.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's upset about you having some Wintex 312s as hot as that guy has been. And I think you can see a little bit of both here. I mean, I think width and power-wise, you can kind of see some of that creation there. But just the athleticism, I guess, screams green bottles to me. But anyways, just one that could be a big one. If you need one that needs to be able to be fed just a little harder, I don't mind that one bit there. Good red gilt.
Yeah, again, a pair of guys out here. The crossbred is 16-5, maxed out Kingpin, and then the Duroc would be Wintex 312. Next up, Consensus is the pedigree. All right, how we doing, guys, back there? We're getting them cleaned up, okay? All right. Trio of crossbreds out here in a little bit different size, but I wanted to start. We'll talk about the 43s, and the bigger one out there, 43-3, as Landon kind of moves that one around, is one that I think obviously could go to, needs to get fed and get home and get after it, because that guy could be very, very neat. That big one right there. That's Iron Fist. Blindside, best kept secret would be the pedigree. Mom came from Heimer. She's as big-legged and big-footed as anything, and I think you can see that on display. And that one's skeleton, little greener in his muscle pattern. And then Cadence has the little smaller litter mate that probably is been as high on my list as any pig. He's a little bit green right now, but 43-4 again. Iron Fist, that's a boar out at Crossroads, tricked out son that we used, and then that Blindside dam.
Yeah, that -4 might not be giving you a perfect look here. I don't know, but I hope you can see just the extra hair, the set to that one's hock, but just being that big-legged. It looks to me like that one has just a high ceiling in terms of feeding potential. Absolutely neat there. The big one, yeah, feed that one hard. If you don't want one that you have to starve all summer and you just want to feed one and get after it, that's a good option there, because I think skeletally he'll hold up for you.
Yeah. The one we haven't talked about is the one with the spot in his back right there, and that's a 2-litter, 2-3, maxed out. Kingpin Dirty Bill. I believe we sold a couple litter mates at Elevate. Saved this guy for this particular sale. I think that one is just a really good feeding barrow because of his cage, skeleton, and how that one comes together.
Man, I thought that before about maxed out in terms of just putting an awesome cage in those things, but man, today is confirming it. Every time I look at one and I'm like, that is just an awesome rib shape and flank. It seems like it's a maxed out today. Absolutely love about that one. Just big chested, short backed, huge in his middle third there. Good project for sure.
So again, guys, a pair of 43s. Again, I'm probably really high on that 43 for the little one there. That's as big a legged and as hairy as you'll have one out here. Obviously, I want him to show off just a little bit better today. I don't know what we're doing in the back relative to beating him up, but that one is very, very neat. And then his big litter mate brother, 43.3, and then obviously the 2-3, the maxed out Kingpin.
Probably worth the drive to come see -4 in person if we didn't get a good look here. Huge paws.
All right, the next pair that we're going to come in here, I've been pretty excited about Weston for quite a while, and that's a pair of 39s. I think we talked about a couple maybe gilts earlier in the set. 39.1 would be the little boar pig. 39.3 would be his larger littermate brother, the barrow. Trick Daddy Hero Dirty Deal is the pedigree, and a pair here that I think have as high a ceiling, maybe different endpoints, but as high a ceiling as any as we've talked about today.
Woofta, I think, is what you say when you see these things. Again, the kind of color pattern that everyone loves, just black back legs that are just dripping with hair. Yeah, they are different, right, in terms of where they end up, but they're both way good. This little guy, though, I think today I might just sign up on that one. That thing is absolutely neat in terms of being stout, but so good in his build. Huge legs, just the right kind of skeleton to be there in the end. You can already see the muscle coming on that one, but all you got to do is look at Big Brother to know you're going to have everything you need. Just so square in his pin set. Big old back. Obviously, I think that one benefits from getting home and chilled out just a little bit, getting off baby feed. But, man, don't miss these two guys. Absolutely love their hair density, their skeleton, and their muscle pattern.
I haven't set sale order yet, but this pair's always been very high on my list, and I promise you they'll be in the front half of the sale. 39-1 is the little boar pig. He is intact. 39.3 is the big barrow. Again, Trick Daddy, Hero, Dirty Deal is the pedigree. You know, another trio of dark cross males that come out here, and some that we're pretty darn excited about. The chromed up one, Cadence, that's closest to you there, that's 40-2, and I think we've talked quite a bit of 40s today out of that great Trick Daddy sire and then the Never Before sow. Here's the male version of some of those gilts we talked about earlier in 40-2.
Get you a good look at this one here. But yeah, this one excites you, instantly grabs your attention, color pattern wise, and then you just start evaluating that guy, and you're like, length of front, yes. Bulkiness, yes. Pin set, yes. I mean, just checks the boxes of what we need in today's current show barrel that's got a really, really good chance of getting along. Could be ready early, but if you want to slow him down, fine, because he's got the stuff that he can handle that. A really flexible option there to look in on.
The other pair out here are a pair of litter mates, 41-2 and 41-4. 41-2 has the spot in his back there, Landon, that's going to be on camera now. And again, pedigree would be Turnin' Tricks Hero Dirty Deal. We've talked about those 41s already with some litter mate brothers and gilts. This pair right here excites me quite a bit. 41-2 has the spot in his belt. 41-4 is the more traditional belted one, Weston.
I guess when I first see these two, I'm reminded of some comments talking to Kyle Knaut there before, but sometimes I think not just being massive when you step in behind them is such a valuable thing in terms of how we can feed these things. I think these are stout, burly barrows, but when you step behind them, you're not going to have to just go super slow to keep yourself in check, because where their hock lands is super safe. I think you can use all the tools in your toolbox when it comes to feeding these things and getting them across. Big arm, tall bladed barrows that look like easy ones to feed to me.
So again, the 40 litter would be the chromed up one, 40-2, Trick Daddy Never Before. And then the pair of 41s, the one with the spot in his belt is 41-2. The traditional belted one is 41-4. Their pedigree, Turnin' Tricks Hero Dirty Deal. So yeah, Weston, I think, a good set of, when you can make belted hogs like that, black and white ones, it makes life a lot better when we're trying to sell pigs and win shows.
Yeah, we get annoyed at times that people hate on so many different colors and all that, but we always comes down to everybody likes a belted pig, right? I mean, some people don't like black ones, some people don't like calicos. Everybody likes a belt. So to have this many just belted black and white male pigs, you're doing something right, because you can never have enough.
So obviously, with that said, I have a solid black one in the ring now. That's 35-1, and they need homes too. Turnin' Tricks sidekick, kind of big deal would be the pedigree. You'll like this pedigree because the grandmother came from your place. That kind of big deal, Sal. The mom here is a first litter gilt. A sidekick, which was a hero daughter. The littermate's sister to the mom of this one showed in Texas last year for the Barber family, won a bunch of jackpots. We kept a littermate sister here. This is her first litter out of Turnin' Tricks.
I've regretted that a time or two, because I really think that Kind of Big Deal made females. I mean, you see Stay Classy quite a bit. I don't know how often you see Kind of Big Deal. There's some famous sows around the country, but whenever that pops up on the bottom side, I look in, because man, those things generated. I guess I am really, really interested in this narrow belted pig. He fires me up, but yeah, don't hate on the black guy. There's just a lot going right here in this pin.
All right. You're supposed to just sell the black one and then worry about the narrow belted one later, but I guess we can get into those. First of all, the traditional belted one, we'll talk about him. That's a 36.5. We talked about his Calico littermate early on there in the preview. Wide awake kingpin visionary would be the wide belted one out there. Weston, let me hear your comments on that one before we jump into the next one.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself here looking at all these. I was trying to think back to that Kind of Big Deal and how grumpy I am that she's here. But anyways, no, this big barrel, guys, he's ready. He's ready today in terms of just one that comes at you with an awesome chest, the right kind of hard shape. He looks the part already. There's not a lot of guesswork there in my mind of what that one's going to look like. Like that one quite a bit.
Okay, the last one we'll talk about here, the narrow belted one, 44-4. I will tell you this. There have been many people that have seen this barrow ahead of time and have tried to buy him off the farm, and I have refused adamantly, and I said, he's going to be in the spring sale. You're just going to have to come there and buy him. 44.4, maxed out, believe in me, goosebumps. Mom is one that you would have remembered. She would have been a heavyweight that Cadence showed at Colorado State Fair a couple years ago that was second in class, and then we brought her home. We finally got her bred. This is her first litter. I think maxed out on believe in me. We finally found, I think, the really good combo of how those two can match up.
Well, at least I'm not the only one that gravitates toward him really fast. If he's been that popular, it's not hard to see why. Again, that makes a ton of sense on paper. And then you turn around and you look at the pig and you're like, oh, yep, runs uphill. Absolutely as cool as anything we've seen today ahead of his blade. But then you step over him and you're like, yep, that is a round rib cage. I mean, he's not just giant bellied today, but that rib cage reads absolutely bold and true. That is a really neat profile picture. But when he comes at you and leaves, you've got all the width you need. Neat prospect there.
So the trio males, the solid black one, 35-1, turn and trick sidekick. The traditional belted one, 36-5, or wider belted one, I guess I should say, wide awake kingpin. And then 44.4, maxed out, believe in me. Now, Weston, we're going to get into a group. There's about 8 of these in a row that are as exciting of prospects that we've had, I think, all year. And we're starting off with a pair of littermates, 9-1, 9-6, Buckle Up, Hero, never before. The one that Landon has out there is 9-1, and then the more chromed up one, guys, is 9-6. Pedigree on paper that I thought would work. And I think we have the extras of the Buckle Up and the uniqueness that Hero brought to the table on display here.
Yeah, these things are just current barrows that look like the kind that find the backdrop. I mean, in terms of being absolutely stout, big-legged, and short-backed, but with the right kind of muscle shape, fire you up real fast. I guess pick your poison here. Maybe you have one that's just a little bigger through his center body, but then I guess the more traditionally belted one is just absolutely neat from the side. Really, really cool pair of barrows here. Or males, I guess.
Yeah, they're still intact, guys. They are boars. And, Buckle Up on full display here. Extra bone, extra stoutness, extra back, and extra fur. All the things that you seem to have nowadays to find the winner's circle. You better start with it. These things have it to the nth degree.
And just to be that bulky but neat up front is something that boar has done so uniquely.
All right, next, guys, we're going to get into some 12s. And this one, we've talked about the dam, the Dirty Deal sow. And we bred her, guys, to Prince Charming this time. And I thought, again, this could really work on her. And I will tell you right now, the Dirty Deal sow, when I bought her, Weston, I bought her with the intention that we would build females around. And no question, there are females in this litter that are absolutely elite. But I will tell you right now, this is by far the bulkiest, shortest backed, most clubby pigs she's ever made from a male standpoint. And we have a pair out here in 12-5, which would be one that has just a slight crinkle in his ear there. And then 12-6. And it was huge. It was like she had 16 live. So again, cranking out ones, 12-5 and then 12-6. 12-6 does have a retained testicle, guys. That's the one kind of with the scarring on his hip right there. He decides to be a fighter. Will just be easy as we move those things out there. 12-5 is the one that Landon kind of moved right out. 12-6 is right behind him. Weston, I want to hear your thoughts on these Prince Charmings.
Yeah, Landon had been here just a few minutes, and he said, "Dad, who's the 12s?" And I finally found a sheet, and I said, "Who told you to look at the 12s? Like, how did you find them that fast?" He said, "I have no idea. Who's the mama?" And I said, "That's the Dirty Deal sow." And I guess I don't want to bore you here, but when we were on our board tour, all were very, very intrigued with Prince Charming, but I don't think we anticipated him to make him this current bulky clubby, like you said. And the ones at our house surprised us that way, and so do these. But my goodness, I think you just hit a home run here. This 12-6 here is absolutely wild to me in terms of just proportions, balance, hind leg, stoutness. And then I don't know, he might be the conservative one to the brother here. I'm sure a lot of people tie into that one. Absolutely neat pigs here to study.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed. Obviously, that Dirty Deal sow came here for a reason. She cost a lot of money, but she's been worth it ever since. This pair right here, I want you to think about this for just a second. This pair has that much bulkiness, stoutness, foot size, bone, and hair, and there's no tricked out or next intention in their pedigree. Now, that's not to disqualify those boars. Obviously, they speak for themselves and what they've done, but there is none of that in their pedigree. Yet they are what they are. And I know Prince Charming goes back to, Believe in Me, back to that charm sow. But there are some unique, those are current made barrows that are belted and I think have a high ceiling. Well, we jump back to the 9s here, and again, this is the other pair of 9s I was referring to, 9-2 and 9-4. 9-2 would be the more traditional belted one, and then the kind of the thin partial belted is 9-4. Again, buckle up, hero, never before, and again, I think a pair that have some uniqueness, Weston.
Yeah, and I guess my favorite part of this pair is, if I'm going to start a buckle up, a lot of times, I guess I don't need them to be the most bulky and ready today because it's coming, right? I think I really liked this guy with just a splash of white on his left side there in terms of height and flexibility. The way his hip and hind leg operate and he reaches behind his tail set is really neat there. Nothing to take away from the belted one, who's probably got the advantage of being a tick shorter backed and maybe more busted open coming at you today. Big feet with hairy legs.
Yeah, obviously, they don't have to. They could be ready to show right now, and you don't have to go in a hurry with these buckle ups. Again, bone, hair, foot size, extras, and I'm with you. I think the partial belted one probably has a little more versatility of feeding window because of his extra flexibility there. But guys, this 9-lender's been high on our list since they've been born, and when you have this many black and white male pigs to offer up, it's going to be very fun. And Weston, we're going to go ahead and finish this pen out with another pair of 12s. We have 12-1, which would be the one, the more traditional belted one, and then 12-2 would be kind of the chromed up splashed one. 12-2 does have a testicle in his flank, just so everyone is aware. He is a one nutter. 12-1 perfectly intact with 2 good testicles there. Again, Prince Charming, Dirty Deal, Dirty Good. The pedigree reads for itself of the quality they present, but I'm pretty excited about this litter.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it on the others, but just from a pedigree standpoint, and then you couple that with the quality presented here, probably should consider leaving that one intact, Cooley. I mean, honestly, how many of us need sows without some of that in our pedigrees to breed to? But forget that for a second here and just study them. Short-backed, absolutely bold, comfortable, tall enough shouldered with a hip and hind leg that you just don't see a lot today. These kind, you show them whenever you want. Take them to the biggest and best show you've got because they can hang. Landon wasn't kidding, I think, when he found the 12 litter here. Good pigs.
Yeah. Pretty excited about this pair. Again, the traditional belted one is 12-1. He is an intact male. 12-2 is the chromed up one that does have a retained testicle. Prince Charming, dirty deal. We're going to have just a little change of pace right here. We're going to get into a pair of 38s. We talked about an all-white 38 male a little bit earlier in the preview, Weston. Here's a pair of gilts in game on a purebred Yorkshire, Whiskers Uproar. The thing I didn't actually mention about that Whiskers Uproar, the reason I bought her from Olson's, not only was she unique, if you remember their Power On, the 14.5 Power On 282 7 sow that came from Olson's that was at Hofschulte's, she's the mom of Awestruck and Uproar. She's on top and bottom of that Yorkshire pedigree. That's why I bought her. And then I put Endgame on top of that sow here for a pair of females that, to me, have as much breeding versatility in them for a half-blood nowadays. We talk about purebred influence, how sometimes that can be negative. To me, I think here it reads positive.
Yeah, and it comes at the right time when we're all wanting to make blue ones, I guess. But again, just the fundamentals in terms of being tall-bladed, absolutely productive, looking through their cage and their flank as you'd expect with that pedigree, just offer really, really good projects that after you're done showing, take them home, make them into females, and just be pleased at the added probably consistency and just fault-free quality that they present.
So we have a pair of litter mates out here, 38-7. I guess I better say who's who out here on camera real quick. That's the one that Landon has, 38-7. She maybe is a little more traditional white, just a little bit of blue speckles on her hip. And then 38-8 would be the one that Cadence is driving around the ring right now on camera. Again, in-game Whiskers Uproar is the pedigree on that pair. We're going to roll out another trio of gilts out here, and we're going to actually start talking about the small one out in the ring. That's a 1 litter. If you remember early on in the preview, we had a trio of 1 litter males, Heavy Hitter, Hero, Kingpin, Verbatim, Roxy would be the extended pedigree. Again, another one of those litters. Brian and I discussed long and hard if we were ever going to offer any gilts out of them, and he said, again, we can't keep them all, Ben. So 1-8 is here for your offering here, Weston. Heavy Hitter is the sire. Sometimes I listen, yes.
I think the buying public thanks you very much for including this one, just because we are not only neat-looking, sharp-edged, but we come from such a proven pedigree, but this little thing is sharp. I mean, she just steps in and you're like, woo, what's that? You know, she just got that look and exciting presence about her. Very, very shaggy. The right kind of proportions and balance that are honestly just kind of timeless, but does it, like I say, with the extra hair, plenty of feature, all the things that maybe today's show ring requires. Really neat gilt here.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one, and I think quality rings true. That's nothing to take away from the 2 other gilts in the ring. They're a pair of litter mates. 42.5 is the traditional blue one. 42.10 would be the Calico. They are maxed out Ocho Goosebumps, and Ocho's probably a boar that it was gone a little too early. He was provoked back on the Verbatim Roxy sow. We own part of him, obviously, with Heimer after we bought Verbatim Roxy. We used him, had some females out of him, and I will tell you, the females we have out of Ocho are generating machines, and we're going to show you some, obviously, a pair in this litter right here, these 42s, that have a lot of neatness to them, and they have maxed out on the top side. So the neat thing about the pedigree in these, they have the Visionary sow on the bottom side, the Verbatim Roxy sow on the bottom side, the Visionary sow on the top side of their pedigree.
Yeah, whenever you combine two sows like that, this is what you expect to find. The blue gilt's just got an awesome shape in terms of muscle texture. She is, I mean, that thing is hard backed, lots of expression. All you got to do there is just let her flesh up, and you're going to be in business. And then this kind of crazy mark deal skeleton to me is really, really neat. Love that one's just her hawk angle and how safe she is from a skeletal standpoint, but looking at the other ones, knowing that you're going to come with plenty of power is kind of exciting as a one to think about feeding.
Yeah, so again, the trio out in the ring, 1-8 is the little gilt. That is the heavy hitter hero. And then the pair of 42s, 42.5s, the blue one, 42.10s, the Calico, maxed out Ocho. Weston, we talked about the 13 litter a little earlier with a pair of gilts. Here's a pair of males. They are intact males. 13-2. That's the one that has a little more chromed up on him. He does have a retained testicle. And then 13-3 is the stouty over here closest to the camera, I guess, wherever the camera is at. Wide awake, next intention, kingpin. A pair that we've been very excited about. I told you this litter was coming, and I think the feeding window on them can be a long time with a lot of good.
Yeah, and again, for being wide awakes, I guess I'm impressed with just their extra bulk and width and shortness of back. I really like seeing that with hind legs that make me excited in terms of just the length of stride and how comfortable they are when they just float across the ring there. Not easy to do, to start with the skull like that with that much bulk, but then still be that athletic. And I think you're right. Their skeleton says you can go fast or slow, but size-wise, don't get in a hurry here. Take them to your big one and have fun along the way for sure.
Again, a pair of 13s that we've been very excited about. 13-2's the chromed up one, has a little more white on his hawk. 13-3 is the intact male. That's the bulky one there. Wide awake, next intention, kingpin is the pedigree. The next two coming into the ring, we have a 14-2. That's the one that Cadence is going to be on right in the middle there, or whoever's decided to get on this one closest to me right now. 14-2. We saw his blue litter mates just a little bit earlier in the preview, the dark blue ones. She did bless us with a black and white one, and this 14-2 male here, Weston, I think reads with a lot of similarities of the blue litter mates, but this boar in a he does have a retained testicle. 14-2 does have a retained testicle, but very, very neat animal there.
Let's see here. So,
Landon's on 14-2 over there. Yep, that's him.
And
it looks like he does.
he
Doesn't. Oh, he's okay. I'm sorry.
He looks good there.
Yep. No, he doesn't have a
he's
retained
got
testicle.
both,
That's a typo. I will make sure that's correct.
But
apologize.
whether he does or not, this one's way good. I absolutely love his cage and his width coming at you, but still does it with a neat look up front for me. Just balances from the side, but you never are going to question if you have enough power. If he would stick his head in the air there for Landon, I think this one would absolutely fire you up. Just in terms of having a neat look, but being bold, bulky, and comfortable on the move. Don't miss him. I don't know why we've waited so long to see that guy. That's a good pick, Cooley.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we're just going in pen order. I haven't even set lot order, but now that you're helping me out, we can go ahead and just make him lot one and get it out of the way. But 15-2 would be the other one out in the ring, and that one is the in-game Kingpin verbatim. Roxy would be the pedigree on that one. We saw his blue litter mates earlier. This is a belted one out of that particular litter, and I think you can see Mom's skeleton showing up in this guy.
Yeah, height the shoulder, just comfortable, right? There's never a day here where you're going to be really scared to feed this one, in my opinion, just because he's going to hold up for you.
So a pair of neat males out there. 14-2, he is an intact male. They both are intact, absolutely. But 14-2, maxed out hero, and then 15-2, in-game kingpin. The next two in the ring are 16-2 and 16-3, maxed out, kingpin, half crazy. We talked about 16 gilt maybe a moment ago. I think you called her complete. I think a pair of males here. The 16-2 would be the one with a little narrower belt. The 16-3 has the really wide belt out there. If you guys watching along at home and seeing the difference in them, but again, maxed outs that I think have a very versatile feeding window.
Yeah, and I won't continue to brag on those, just the cage that those things have, but I think maybe this pair of those maxed outs might be a little more unique in terms of front third. Really like the look. That -2 barrel kind of put his head in the air there and gives you a really neat just presence, and follows it up with the boldness that you'd expect. Comfortable in their skeleton, just again, projects that I think keep you out of the ditch and let you just feed and see. And if you start with a bunch like these, you're going to be in a good spot come the end of summer.
Yeah, a pair of 16s, guys, maxed out kingpin. Mom generates, and I think you could see that in these pigs. A lot of versatility here. I really like the way that pedigree matched up with those pigs. Again, those of you guys following along at home, we're rolling through this preview. It is not lot order. We're just going pen by pen, and we're trying to obviously, we'll study ear notches here, and then we'll get a sale order later in the week. Weston, we talked about a moment ago a pair of 13-litter males. Here's another pair of 13-litter gilts for offering. 13-5. That would be the one that I think that's kind of the narrower, thinner belted at the top there, right there, and 13-7, one with a little more chromed up along its flank. But again, wide awake, next intention, kingpin is the pedigree.
Yeah, these things are just a little smaller than some we've seen today, but kind of get you excited when you start to think what they're going to look like here on down the road. Reed with a really unique set of proportions in terms of being sharp blade forward, short backed, and really comfortable out through their hip and hind leg. The one just fighting her ear looks like one of my boys probably got a little crazy with the hose back there.
Somebody did something, but that's all right. We won't fire them because they're the ones doing it.
Anyways, really neat pair of gilts here who just come in a correct functional package. I think you have to see them in person to appreciate just how fault-free they are and check a lot of boxes.
Yeah, I think, guys, if you're hunting a unique pedigree as one, if that doesn't even concern you, you say, man, I just need a good show gilt that can show for a long time, and they just get better with age as they flesh up and mature. I will tell you, Mom did that, and these ones right here will do that here. You can show these for a long time, all the way through the fall. Heck, the way it goes anymore, they could be showing at Phoenix next year and hanging some banners.
Crazy to say, but for sure accurate. That -5 is just pretty snazzy too. Pretty sharp little gilt.
Yep. Trio of gilts we're going to run out here. We've got 10-9. We'll start on that one. That's the one Landon's going to jump on right there with the whip in front of her face. We've talked about some 10s today, maxed out breaking rules. No shortage of power in that one, Weston.
That's what I was thinking as well, just in terms of coming with extra width, a big old pin set when you get behind her. Love that one's muscle. Drop her down on protein and let her roll. Again, we just said it, but you can show that one for a long time because even if you're mean to her, you know that she's going to have enough stuff.
Yep. The 12-litter, I believe that's the one, Cadence, you're going to jump on right there. I am offering a couple 12-litter gilts, Weston Charles. So that would be, again, the Prince Charming out of the Dirty Deal Sow. Yeah, that's right. 12-14 is that one. Interested to hear your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. But first and foremost, let's just look at this thing in terms of being so tall bladed, short backed. But like we talked about earlier, for a sow that's not just super young, she's proven, obviously, way shaggy, short back, just current, I guess, in her look. Love what that boar did there. That was a smart move for sure. I don't know if I would have thought to do that, but it worked awesome.
Well, I'll claim luck and just call it good. I will say this relative to the dirty deal sow. Sometimes they're timeless and they can make them good regardless of where they're at in their career. The 14 liter, that's the one over there that Landon's going to grab on, the one that's got a lot of chrome and paint job on her. Maxed out hero. We talked about blue litter mates. We talked about the belted littermate male just a moment ago. This one's a little greener and skinnier, but that one has an absolute wild look. I will tell you, she resembles mommy probably as much as anything in that litter.
Yeah, it might be on camera hard to follow which one you're looking at because she's one of those that I always kind of think is really neat. She looks like a different pig depending on which side you see. She's absolutely fun marked, but man, sharp through her head and neck, no throat to speak of, really hard shape with a comfortable hind leg. Yeah, she might just be a tick, I guess, immature in her look. But to me, that only excites me more where she has that much shape already.
Yeah, our good friend Ralph Hinton here is sitting ringside, and I know when they're choke-throated and wild-necked, he always gets excited. So I brought that one out specifically for him. Again, the 3 in the ring, 10-9, the maxed out breaking rules, the 12 litter, 12-14, Prince Charming, and then the 14-10, that maxed out hero. All right, we're going to talk about the partial belt, the thin belted in the middle of her belt right there. Yeah, that 10 liter. This one has a little more umph to her at this point, but again, the maxed out breaking rules, and I wanted to make sure we had maybe one that just didn't have enough muscle today to talk about, Weston.
Oh, absolutely. If you just like starting with one that already has enough oomph, here she is. Just absolutely fun to look at just how bold her blade is. Huge back, tons from behind. Obviously, be disciplined not to get in a huge hurry here, but one that has a lot of power. Neat marking, too.
The other one out in the ring, I guess if you didn't notice quick enough, Weston, that is another 12. That's 12-15, the thin belted around the, her traditional belt side there. That's the other 12 we're going to offer here. I thought she's always looked like a sow, looked like a generating machine, and go ahead, she's up for sale.
Yeah, this one, I mean, she could swallow some we've seen today, and that's just giving her praise, I guess, in terms of doing it with that much just stoutness and oomph. But coming from that pedigree and doing it with that kind of skeleton, we'll see if they'll separate just a little for you here. But, I mean, that thing has a ton of back shape and body cavity, and I think you said it right. She does look like she could be just a flat generator. Really, really interesting gilt there that you don't want to miss. I'm enjoying looking at her here myself.
Guys, I promised we would offer some of our highest quality, most unique ones here. We had such a plethora. When she cranks out 16 of them, I said, well, we're going to offer a couple unique gilts. I think they were both a little different, those 12s. That one is sow generating potential all over her. Next into the ring, we're going to have a pair of 16 litter gilts. We've talked about the 16s, maxed out, kingpin, half crazy. 16-7 would be the one that I think Landon's going to push out there. They're a little wider belt on both sides there, and then 16-8 is the other the gilt out there. They're marked very similar, but again, Weston maxed out. We can't emphasize enough of what he does well, and I think it's on full display here.
Yeah, that 16-7 came in kind of with her head up and looks like a show gilt. I mean, she would be a fun one to jackpot right away, but obviously the indicators read to me like she'll make it all the way through. More similar than different. This sister there, just wide-chested, awesome caged ones that still just have a comfortable skeleton. I think those things will go all day. Really stout pair of gilts here.
Yeah, guys, I think, we wanted to make sure in our offering for our sale on Saturday night here at the farm, again, that's 6 p.m. Mountain Time, is we wanted to make sure we had a variety of pigs that could fit a variety of needs. And so many times we have lots of customers, and I know you're the same way, Weston, where they say, man, I just want one that's not going to get me messed up, that has enough of everything, but has a skeleton that's built well and I can take home and can be functional and win a show, right? And whether it's their county fair, maybe it's a jackpot show somewhere down the line. They don't have to be the wildest creature in any one area, but they can't be messed up. I think that 16 litter and the pair of gilts out here in the ring exemplifies that. Again, we're going to jump into a trio of gilts here. We're going to start with that 2 litter, and that's the one that Cadence was brushing on right there. We go ahead and push that one out, that 2 litter. We've talked about some 2s already, but maxed out Kingpin Dirty Bill. Very neat 2 gilt there. Go ahead. Yep, there you go, Landon. With her, Weston, I think a very nice gilt. The same mold as what we've been talking about of some extras in look, too.
Yeah. Again, when you can combine some of these things that we want into one package, that's where success, I think, kind of starts. But having that kind of look, but still being big, and square in her chest, just tends to make them good, right? When you can kind of couple things that are hard to put together. Love that one's big old tail that sits way up high back there on a level hip. Interesting one to study for sure.
Yeah. The other pair are litter mates out here in their 7s. We talked about some of those 7s earlier in the set. Non-negotiable, hero, visionary, bold, square, stout, very functional animals here. And again, I think a good combo between those pedigrees. In 7-6, which would be the one that Landon has right there. I'm going to push on screen, kind of the partial broken belted one, I guess you should say, is 7-6. And then 7-8 is the one Cadence is going to push around the ring there as well.
Yeah, you were just talking about those ones that don't get you in trouble and how that's an asset in today's show pig world. I mean, you don't know at some of these county fairs, especially what kind of evaluator if you're going to get. And ones like this just don't get you in trouble. Everybody can find a gilt that is just productive in their look and stout and square and has the right kind of muscle in a skeleton that's safe. Those are things that maybe we take for granted at times, but when you kind of just stay out of the ditch there, they really do have a lot of value that way.
So again, out in the ring, 2-6, that'd be the maxed out Kingpin, and then a pair of 7 litters, 7-6 and 7-8, non-negotiable hero would be their pedigree. We're getting closer to the end of the preview here. We just have a couple pens left. Another one, the next pair that are coming here has me pretty excited. This is a pair of gilts, 42.8 and then 46.7. We'll start with 42.8, and I know we talked a little bit about that litter a little sooner. We saw a blue one and a calico. Maxed out Ocha would be the pedigree, but 42.8 right there that I think Landon's going to push around the ring. Weston, want to hear your thoughts on that creature.
Yeah. Good grief. She might kind of combine some of those going off memory there that we saw early in terms of having that aggressive, awesome back shape and big old pin set. But, man, skeletally just handles it with ease. Again, love just her lines and then couple that with the density she has. That, again, that tail set way up high with a sharp, neat look. That one's pretty wild. That one only gets better as she fleshes up and drops in her flank. Good grief. That's a good one.
Yeah, and it doesn't take away from the other one out in the ring, because actually this other one has been very high on my list for a long time. That's 46-7 Trick Daddy Hero Kingpin would be her pedigree. The mom would be the one that Hikus has showed a couple of years ago that was third overall market Gilt out of Sarbin. This is her first litter out of her, and a very neat female that Cadence is pushing around the ring right now.
I remember that Gilt there at Exarban. I don't think she was a huge one out there and still got along really good just from a quality standpoint. Excited here to see her first litter, and just the kind that I guess I've seen the Flatland crew make before, that just go home and get better. I mean, just in terms of coming at you with the right kind of width, having an aggressive shape, and just a hind leg that is safe from behind, just does it with enough density and current look to be very, very competitive.
A neat pair out there. 42-8 is the maxed out Ocho. 46-7 is the Trick Daddy Hero. Pair of neat gilts right there that I think have a lot of potential, high ceiling. Pair of littermates come out into the ring now as we're getting close to the end of our crossbred section. And this pair of fours, Weston, we saw a littermate brother earlier. If you remember him, he was maybe in the first pin. He was really big-legged and tall-shouldered. This is the pair of gilts, Turning Tricks, Houdini, Wags. 4-3 would be the all-black one, and then 4-4 is the belted one.
Yeah, I do. And instantly when they open the door over there, you're like, whoa, that's a big old foot and ankle. These things are dense at the ground. Absolutely love just forearm carries all the way down consistently to a big old foot. Study that. But then, you know, sometimes on those giant legged ones, they almost hide just how much shape they have working. But if you really study these things to be that dense, but then have just that crisp loin edge is very unique. A tough pair of gilts there that won't ever just get out horsed, I guess, you know.
Yeah, we were excited. That was a first litter gilt that we didn't know quite what to expect out of her, but when Brian brought her home, and I will tell you right now, I don't think Jesse would feel bad about it. I don't think she cost a lot of money. I honestly, guys, she was about $300 as a baby gilt. And he brought her home, and what do you think? And she's blue belted. And then she has a litter here, and all black ones or black and white ones, and she is the biggest legged, hairiest creature around. And I think we exemplified that in these offspring, and Turning Tricks worked really well. This is a pair of gilts right here that I think could win a lot of different places. I like Ralph's comment. You probably didn't hear it on camera. He said the black one deserves an apology for being black, right? You know, I have another black one for you right now here, Ralph, that I'm pretty high on. This is a pair right here. If you remember, we started off our preview with a pair of littermate 8s, Trick Daddy, King of the Hill, gone viral. Here's the pair of littermate gilts I'm going to offer up on Saturday. 8-5 would be the solid black one. 8-7 would be the traditional belted one. I can't emphasize it enough. We planned this pedigree. We planned this mating to a T. We wanted to line up that gone viral sow on top and bottom, and I think we have a pair of very neat animals here.
I just remember talking about how those males were that big-legged and that burly, but where their hock comes out. I mean, they are so perfectly square from behind and just dead square. Everything moves north and south in a line. Even though above their skeleton there at the ground, they're massive. I mean, their moderation, just bold animals. But that is so unique to me to have that neat of a angle to their hock and be that square, but be that powerful. I think these two do it both with a really neat look, blade forward. I'm kind of surprised you're selling these.
Well, again, we had multiple discussions about what we could offer and what we couldn't. And when Brian said we can't keep 50 gilts, I said, fine, I guess we'll have to offer some of these unique ones. And honestly, we want to, because we want to win We want to be successful. We want our customers to be successful. I don't care if you're trying to win a market show, breeding guild show, you're trying to retain something for your own herd. This pair right here better be high on your list. They're extremely line bred, top and bottom, with quality animals on both sides. And you talked about hip and hind leg. That comes from Mama. I will tell you right now, this one's Mom, the king of the hill, gone viral sow. She has as perfect a hind leg as you could ever ask for, and I think it's on full display here. 8-5 is the solid black one. 8-7 is the belted one. Guys, we're going to wrap up our preview with a set of colored ones a little bit. We need to have some variety here, and we're going to have a pair of spots out in the ring to get us started here. They are litter 5. The boar pig is 5-1. The gilt is 5-3. Pedigree would read Big Daddy, which is the boar that was at Beeman's, back on a loudmouth speak up. And here's the unique thing about this one. Mom actually came from Sloan, was shown by the Hikus family. She was grand overall at Kansas State Fair and KJ a couple years ago. Hikus had called me a couple years ago and said, hey, I need to find a good spot gilt. And I said, well, Sloan's offering up a really good one tonight online. I actually judged its mother. The grandmother of this litter would be the Speak Up sow from Louder Milk that won CPS when Kevin went and I judged her a couple summers ago. We got a daughter out of her that we ended up getting the sow here. Hikus was kind enough to work with us, and we have a very, very neat litter of spots we're going to offer up at our sale. The boar is 5-1. The gilt is 5-3. I know you're a spot expert, Weston, so I want to hear your expert opinion on these.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. They just hit me as being ones that are very, very elevated in their blade with big feature. And I think when you can combine those two things, it's going to allow you to do what you want with the feed bucket. I guess I just love kind of their immaturity, even though they're that dense at the ground, coupling that together. I don't see a million of these things, but I think you did all right here.
For a one-spot sow around the place, I think we're pretty excited about the potential they have. We have this pair right here. The boar pig is intact. -1, -3 is the gilt. We got another pair that we're going to bring into the pen at this time, a little on the smaller side, so I think some versatility. This will be the last pen of pigs that we're going to run out here in our preview. As we do so, the smaller barrow is 5-2. That's the one, I guess, jumping in front of the camera right there, 5-2. He is castrated. That's the barrow. The other gilt is 5-5, I believe. As I look at my sheet, yep, 5-2 is the barrow. 5-5 is the gilt. Ones that probably aren't nearly as big as their litter mates, Weston, but I think maybe gives you a little more versatility of where you want to feed those things.
That barrow is skinny, sure, but man, I think he might have the most aggressive shape up high coming. I know that's a projection that won't matter for a minute, but I kind of like the back shape that he's coming with. Again, tall bladed thing there. The gilt's just way comfortable, neat looking. Yeah, they're maybe just a little pounds light, but I think quality hangs right in there here. Really like that gilt.
Yep. And then the last one we're going to talk about is a purebred Poland. I will tell you, we are not real versatile in this breed. We have one Poland sow, and we did so, though, offering this one up because I thought her quality was absolutely impeccable. 6-7. She's a Hundy, back on a clear conscience. Flatliner would be the pedigree, and I'll be honest, I don't study Poland pedigrees that often. I did see the Hundy boar out there at Beeman's this last summer. We did, and I was very impressed by that animal. And this Poland gilt right here, I think, can hang not only in any dark OPB show that she goes to, but obviously just against her contemporaries in her breed.
Yeah, that thing has really unique shape. When you get over, man, that's a big old crease down her back. Get behind her, really, really expressive. Yeah, I'm not a Poland guy, but you can see the value in that one.
Yeah. So, guys, that kind of wraps up our preview here, and I want to talk, and we get the camera here talking about just a couple things to finish out relative. Thank you guys for tune in into the preview. Again, 100 head offered up for Saturday night to go through the schedule again. Friday, we'll have a walkthrough here at the farm at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And then, obviously, those of you guys tuning into the preview, and you can see that preview all throughout the week on our Facebook page, on Taylor Fort streaming on his Facebook page. Call with any questions. We will have delivery options, both West Coast and East, back to the Midwest from our sale. That sale is Saturday, March 16th, 6 p.m. Mountain Time here. We're going to have a meal provided by Saltcraft there at 4:30, a little barbecue or taco bar, I believe is what we're having, Ralph Hinton said. And then after that, we'll have a sale right at 6 o'clock. We'll have online bidding available at salering.live, so make sure that you tune in for that. If you can't make it in person, obviously, we'd love to have you guys out here. Thank you again on behalf of Brian and Kelly Funk, the entire Funk family. Thanks, Weston, for joining me today with the commentary. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you.